D3, The Mighty Ducks, easily the worst of the trilogy, yet the most underrated. I like this movie, but man did it have problems. Make sure to bash the like button, bro, and subscribe because ducks fly together.
Ducks fly together!
So the first Mighty Ducks took place when they were all in 6th grade. D2, I think, took place a year later. It also looked like it was the summer. Either this movie takes place 6 months later after they win the Pee Wee Championship, or a year and a half later. There's more evidence to suggest this takes place a year and a half later. Gordon Bombay is in the minors for a while, Charlie's mom gets remarried, and I'm wondering, did they not play another Pee Wee hockey season that year? D3 skips a year when the Ducks were in 8th grade, and they are going to enter high school at the beginning of the movie. My question is, what were the Ducks doing after they defeated Iceland in the Junior Goodwill Games? Were they even playing hockey? It doesn't look like they played Pee Wee hockey for 3 years. I don't think the writers cared. Anyways, the Ducks were celebrities, and for some reason, Eden Hall decides to give the Ducks full scholarships. Eden Hall is a Minnesota prep school with a long history of dominating hockey. They literally win the state championship every year. I don't think it's stated that the school was in financial trouble, so why would they pull a publicity stunt to bring the Ducks in to be the new JV hockey team? What's the point? Are the Ducks even better than the Eden Hall kids that would have made the JV team? The typical kid that goes to Eden Hall and plays hockey has been playing hockey their whole life. And if they make the Eden Hall Warrior hockey team, they gotta be pretty fucking good at hockey. Yet Eden Hall crowns the Ducks players as the new JV team.
You know, my little brother lost his JV slot when they brought you yo-yos in here.
Probably wasn't good enough.
Now, the varsity players are dicks, but if you think about it, they have a legit reason to be pissed off. They have little brothers or friends that didn't even get a chance to try out for the JV team. Imagine being groomed your whole life to go to Eden Hall and play on the hockey team, and they tell you you're not allowed to play. You can't even try out because we gave all the roster spots to a bunch of overrated, inexperienced scrubs. If it were me, I'd want to change schools so I could actually play. So when you break it down, the varsity was justified with their treatment of the Ducks. They were also right to question whether the Ducks were state championship material. They win the championship every year. These scrub Ducks players going to continue winning? I think it hurt that Jesse wasn't in the movie. He was one of the best players. This allowed Charlie to take more of an alpha role in the team, which I think he handled well. He's one of the few Ducks players I think could actually play on the JV team, had there been a fair tryout. I thought it was an interesting twist to put Adam Banks on the varsity. The new coach comes off as a total dick. When you watch the movie as a kid, you hate him, but you respect him as an adult. Charlie was being a little bitch about him the whole time. This takes us to the JV Warriors' first game. Now, I really like the idea of this game. The Ducks get out to a big lead but blow it. The problem is they got out to a 9-0 lead. How in the fuck do the Ducks blow a 9-0 lead in one period? Maybe I could accept blowing a 5-0 lead. I like the scoring in the first 2 periods, and despite what I said earlier, the Ducks were proving they could dominate at this level. Just think if they had a fair tryout and replaced half the team with legit players. Sorry, Averman, you're cut. Sorry, Connie, you're too old to play with the boys now. In a lot of ways, Coach Orion is a better coach than Bombay. But in a lot of ways, he isn't. How the fuck does he allow his team to blow a 9-0 lead? Let's say you're coaching and your team shuts down. They start playing like trash, and the opposing team starts playing like a professional team. Wouldn't you think he'd coach them to be more conservative with the puck, play some keep away, maybe call a timeout and tell them to play some goddamn defense and ice the puck every possession? Then he pulls Julie the Cat for the fat-ass Goldberg. She was doing terrible, but Goldberg is fucking trash. Had he stayed with Julie, they probably would have won. Then Charlie really blew it at the end. What was he thinking? As the movie goes on, it's implied the Ducks lose a couple games. I wish they would have shown that. It would have made their triumph over the varsity even sweeter. I really like the scrimmage they had with the varsity. For a Disney kids movie, it was intense.
1st to 10. Full check.
Bring it on.
The Ducks were pretty stupid to think they could beat the Varsity, especially with no referees present. In the final showdown with the Varsity, the game was underwhelming. How did the Varsity score 0 goals? I know you want to emphasize defense, but how about you make the final score 3-2? The Varsity was beating the shit out of the Ducks. They should have been able to get a goal based on that alone. Then Dean Portman comes out of nowhere and the game becomes a circus. Why wasn't he just there from the beginning? Goldberg scores at the end, surprising us all, and the Ducks win, capping off the trilogy and for 20 years, the franchise. Oh, and they changed the name to Eden Hall Mighty Ducks. Fucking ridiculous. I always wanted a D4, but we never got one. Fuck Disney. We did get Mighty Ducks Game Changers, which pissed me off. My whole life, I wanted to see one of the Ducks players make it to the NHL. I thought it would be Adam Banks or Charlie. I wanted both of them to make it to the NHL. Adam Banks never made it. And Charlie, we don't know yet because he has not made an appearance. I highly doubt they wrote it into the show that he made the NHL. And with no Emilio Estevez in season 2, I'm sorry. The Mighty Ducks Game Changers is hashtag not my Mighty Ducks, hashtag non-canon. In my headcanon, Adam Banks and Charlie Conway both made it to the NHL. What did you think of D3 The Mighty Ducks? I think it lacked the magic of the first 2, but it is a satisfactory conclusion. I'm going to be working on my triple deke and adding more content to this channel about other movies and TV shows. Join the project, subscribe to the channel, and remember, ducks fly together.